Hey everyone, we are back. This is obviously the same night, same face, makeup look. Changed the shirt though. Alright. There's some stuff I was thinking about and I was like, why not make a video? So we're gonna do that, but before, just in case, I don't see myself cussing in this one, but just in case, disclaimer, I cuss in my videos. I am not kid friendly, so if you have any little ones around, leave, come back. I'd love to have you here. But, not kid friendly. So, I was watching, it was the whole James Charles thing. I was watching several videos on the whole James Charles being a groomer and predator and all the things. And I do have thoughts on that. Matter of fact, I'll just share them. Probably won't be a super long video. So I was watching the stuff. And as many of you know, James Charles, there was a whole Tati by his sister where she was like, you need to get your shit together, stop using your celebrity to try to push men who don't want to be with you into being with you. But that was more along the lines of like being predatory towards straight men, like men, and that's the key word there. And then somehow this got turned into him being a child groomer. Well, later on, there have been claims. There was one about a year ago with a 14-year-old boy who had, I believe he added James, or, James added him to Snapchat or whatever. Pretty sure they met on Instagram. Either way, he's meeting these fans on social media and then having very inappropriate conversations. And then when that happened, everybody called that boy a liar. He's just trying, because no one wanted to not believe James, because when the bi-sister thing happened, everybody canceled James. There was watch parties, watching the subscriber count just go down. And then he comes out with a video. Everybody forgives him. Everybody's like, everything Tati said was wrong. Even though he never proved that everything was wrong, people were just like, we were wrong. We never want to cancel somebody. He could have killed himself. Like, we don't want to jump on him. So last year when these things came out, let me let my cat out. I'm so sorry. It's like every time we start, we have a pause. So let's just do this. And we're back again. Every time. So basically, people didn't want to jump on James Charles without knowing what was up. And this turned the other situation into attacking a 14-year-old child, saying that he was a clout chaser and he was making this stuff up to get famous, which I found a huge problem with. I wish I'd have been making videos at the time. I wasn't, but I wasn't happy with seeing what was being said and what was being done and how this teenager was being treated. Even, like, everything aside, even if he made it up, no child deserves to be jumped on and threatened and just beat down like that. Children do stupid shit. Teenagers do stupid shit. So even if, which I honestly believe what he had to say, but even if he made it all up, first of all, no one deserves to be attacked online, especially not a child, teenager, child, whatever. No one deserves that. Okay. So just recently, another young boy from TikTok comes out and he shares that there had been an inappropriate situation with James Charles. And he full on just put it out there. There were inappropriate pictures sent from James to this kid. And then this whole, and my door's open. I'm not even going to pause, y'all. Just chill with me. You're at my house. See, I'm going to use my foot to shut the door. Ugh. Yeah, sorry. That's the best way to describe it. No, we're just chilling. Look, y'all are like family at this point. I mean, you're in my house all the time. Like, why don't y'all ever go home? I don't know. I'm not funny. I never claimed to actually be funny. Not all of us can be comedians like BX. Oh, God, that just hurt my soul. Anyway, so this boy full on shares the conversation, shares the pictures that were sent to him. And then there's this conversation of like, did James know his age or not? And thank God a lot of people this time were like, does it even matter? Like, everybody's looking at James like, okay, you've been accused a couple times. Like, how many times can you be accused of the same thing with pieces of evidence? And then it's like, well, I didn't know. They lied to me. Everybody's finally looking at him and holding him accountable and saying, James, knock, you should know better. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're a celebrity. You know you are. What are you doing talking to anybody like that on social media, knowing what can happen, but especially someone young? The boy, I mean, he don't look like a man to me. And there's been all these conversations about, you know, what James is attracted to, and he likes younger looking people and also straight people, and it's a lot. It is too much to get into for me for one video, but the reason that I wanted to talk about this is because as all these conversations were happening and all this stuff was coming up, it really got me thinking about how men are viewed in society now, and how do I word this? You've got situations like this with James Charles where it definitely, like, it don't look good. It looks bad. Like, something definitely seems to be happening there. But also, you know, now it's like men aren't allowed to be around kids or you know, care for kids in the same way that we as women do, or else they're automatically just looked at like you're a predator, you're a pervert, you're something must be wrong with you. You must be grooming them if you want to see them or spend time with them or have any part of their life. And I know that's not true for every situation. I know that it can be different, but it's leaning towards that, like, because of shit like this, because we know shit like this exists. Now it's almost like any time a man shows any type of I don't know how to explain it. For example, okay, one of the things, and I'm going to talk about BX because we talk about him a lot over here apparently, but one of the videos I found on him was a decent video. There was a lot of information in there that was like, wow, BX sucks. But the way he framed one particular part of the video really made me kind of like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, dude that made the video, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because here's what he did. He shows clips of BX talking to an underage child. BX was talking to this underage child about rapping. As you may know, whether you like his music or not, and I will not even share my opinion on that one, he was talking to him about that. And this guy wanted to frame it like BX. And this, if you don't know, this video that I'm referencing, I'm talking about, is the same one that Amanda was talking about when she was standing up for BX because of the shit like this section of the video. She was saying, this is fucking wrong. But he was framing it like flat out like BX was being a pervert for wanting anything to do with this kid. Why was he talking to an underage kid? Where were their parents? Did they know? He wasn't doing anything wrong. Like, when did we stop looking at the intent and the person and on a case-by-case basis? Like, that's really the thing for me. You know, I've seen so many conversations going around since this James Charles thing happened, and this was just something that really stood out to me because people are talking about all these other situations that just aren't the same. James was being sexually explicit obviously, with the pictures and asking for other pictures of body hair, which is just disturbing, that was obviously like a fucked up situation, right? Like, you can look at that and be like, that's a sexual thing. On the other hand, using BX as just an example, him talking to some 14-year-old kid about rapping and giving him advice and talking to him, that's not the same thing. He's not grooming that child. He's not trying to have a sexual relationship with that child. And I know we live in a world, and people can say what they want, but there are, cancel culture is real. And so is just this, it's almost like it's a want and a drive to villainize people for things that should not be. Like, I understand protecting kids 100%. I've got a kid, but at the same time, it's getting to a point where you can't even want to be around a kid unless if they're yours. It's like, I don't know. Like, what BX was trying to do was be a mentor. What James Charles seemed to be trying to do, in my opinion, was fucked. It was disgusting. It was sexual. And he does use his celebrity and his power, to get these people, whether it's underage kids, straight men, to use that, because of course people get excited. Of course, especially a 14-year-old kid is going to be like, I spoke to James Charles. Like, no one's going to believe you. It's going to be exciting. He's using that. But to say that any man who speaks to a kid, who tries to mentor a kid, is grooming them or doing something in a wrong way, and again, I'm just using BX as an example here, but it goes for anyone. One thing I've never talked about on my channel, okay, I do have a boyfriend, and I'll probably make a video one day talking about getting back into dating after losing a spouse, because it's a hell of a journey, especially with your child. I'm currently lucky enough to be with an amazing man. My child loves him. Never thought that would happen. But he loves kids, and he's damn good with kids. And he had been in previous relationships where those kids didn't have a father figure, and he stepped up. And he still talks to those kids, because just because him and their mothers, didn't work out, he's the only father figure they know. And I look at him and I think, how incredible. Like, he's such a good man. And he had a little bit of a not so great upbringing, and there were things in his childhood that he kind of missed out on, I guess. And he feels the need to be there. And he just loves kids, and he's fucking wonderful with them. And it sucks to think that if he was a public figure, what would people say about him? And it got me, all of this led me to the fact that it's like, and I'm not even saying that it's not like this for women, because, the whole Colleen Ballinger thing keeps getting brought back up thanks to Adam McIntyre. And it's just, we're so quick as a society, especially on social media, to villainize people and to make things, be something that they're not, and be this horrible, disgusting shit. And I'm so sick of it. Not everyone is doing something horrible. Yes, we should protect our children, but everything needs to be looked at case by case, situation by situation, person by person. And people shouldn't just be demonized for wanting to spend time with a kid. Like, you've got to understand, yes, there's a part where, oh my God, they're a celebrity and they can be using that, to get something they want. But on the other hand, oh my God, they're a celebrity and they're trying to give back. Maybe they see something that they didn't have, or just want to give an opportunity that they didn't have. Not everyone deserves to be villainized. And this is going on not just on social media, but as society altogether. it sucks. It really sucks. And I get, like, and I 100% believe that James Charles really should be held accountable, and I hope to see it this time. I hope something comes from this, because again, there's just no way you get accused so many times, and again with so much proof. This isn't coming out of nowhere. It's not just somebody saying it happened. There is legitimate proof that shit was going on. And again, I don't give a shit if the teenager, the child, was lying about their age to set him up. It should not happen, especially with everything he's gone through. So I hope that something there gets done and something really happens. If it takes dropping that fucking subscriber count like it happened last time, so be it. But at the same time, I'm just worried about what life is going to look like, 10, 20 years down the road if things keep going the way they're going, because things that could be innocent, things that could be possibly good for, a kid out there who doesn't have a dad, who needs a mentor. And like I said, this isn't just about the men, although it's primarily about the men, because you see a man who wants to reach out to a child for any reason, and it's automatically like they're grooming them. But it's starting to be women too, and it's going to reach a point where it's like, if it's not your kid, don't be talking to them as a child. Don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if any of you will agree with me, but it was just on my mind. This isn't a really long video, but I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if this is something that other people look at and they're like, wow, this is kind of messed up. That's the way I looked at it. And I just wanted to get this out there and talk about it, get it off my chest, and also to see what you guys have to say. Do you see things like this? Do you see this as an issue? Are there other things? Because I can think of a few other things that I'm like, wow, this is going to end badly one day. Like, is this really, here's the thing. Is there anything that you look at that's going on in the world right now, in society right now, that makes you feel like, wow, is this really where society's going to be? Like, is this what we want for our future and for our kids' future and our grandkids' future? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. This was just one topic, one thing that I couldn't get away from it, because anytime things happen with James Charles, you can't get away from it. And that's kind of where I landed, and where I ended up in this whole thought process was like, yeah, this is wrong, and I hope shit happens, but also, what effect is all this other stuff gonna have? So I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say about it. Let me know in the comments. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.